Several residents gathered outside the Orange Walk Magistrate Court to see the faces of the 8 law enforcement officers of the Belize Special Assignment Group, a policeman of the Special Patrol Unit, and 7 soldiers of the Belize Defense Force assigned to the BSAG unit who allegedly murdered 46-year-old Ariel Audinette and left Oscar Pays hospitalized after a brutal beatdown last Thursday morning here in Orange Walk Town. But the spectators were denied that opportunity as they were ordered to move from in front of the court, and when the men emerged, they all used t-shirts to cover their faces as they walked to and from the court. The accused are police officer 30-year-old Leonard Cahun, BDF soldiers 28-year-old Mateo Balon, 31-year-old Patrick Viagran Sr., 26-year-old Patrick Diego, 33-year-old Elvis Cobb, 26-year-old Edmar Petillo, 21-year-old Vladimir Escarga, and 23-year-old Francis Shaw. All appeared before Magistrate Albert Hoare and were read charges of murder and attempted murder and remanded to prison until April 18th. When the attack happened, some of these lawmen were wearing masks, and it may have been difficult to tell who inflicted the deadly blows, but ACP Chester Williams says they are confident in their investigations.
I know, yes, that it was a difficult one because of the fact that some of the men were wearing masks, and you know how this thing goes when it comes to dealing with investigations where persons are wearing masks. So as a part of the investigative process, we had to find a way to go behind the mask and see how we could get those persons captured by the charge. And so yes, we were able to gather sufficient evidence against the 7 members of the Belize Defense Force and the police officer in respect of that matter.
Do you believe that these charges are strong enough to hold in court, considering the fact that identification may be an issue during the matter being tried?
That will be a matter to be decided by the court. I am satisfied that we have sufficient to lay the charge and put the matter before the court, and the judge will then decide at trial time whether or not the issue of identification is satisfied and then move from there.
And residents came out to support Audinette's family's cry for justice. The crowd in front of the court shouted at the accused men. Activist Karen Banner says she's not happy that the men were given preferential treatment. They remained without cuffs while appearing in court and even when they were taken away to prison.
I think we all saw this morning that they came out and they were not handcuffed and they had their heads covered, and I don't think that was fair because everybody else came out, had handcuffs, and these guys, they didn't have any. We as a community, we need to get up and do something. This is not anymore about politics. There's a lot of stuff that is happening in our country, and we're just sitting down and not doing anything. Or we're on Facebook talking about it. We need justice. We can't let this be. We can't just let this be another incident that just ride and forget about it after a couple months.
The men reportedly broke through the door to gain entry to Ariel Audinette's house in the early hours of last Thursday morning. They were looking for a cell phone that the woman had reported missing. But when one of Audinette's friends didn't hand over the missing cell phone, the BSAG members beat 3 of the men to a pulp, killing Audinette and seriously injuring his friend Oscar Pays. The beating was so severe it is said to have broken most of Audinette's bones, which punctured some of his organs. His sister said he had no chance of surviving the onslaught, but he pointed out his killers before he died.
When we reached there, my little brother there on a septic.
Yesterday?
Yesterday, they lay off in a pain, bad pain. You can't move and nothing. Because everything broke up in that's what the doctor tell us afterwards. But when we gone, we try move her, we can't move her. So we gone to the next little boy, and when we heist the little boy said, but in a pain, he can't get up. And then my husband and my son heist up. Then when they look for walk onto the vehicle, the little boy said, mister, he said, I open but I know they say, can't move, they have to be in a hardboard for hospital for turn and pan. And as they turn up by back, he ball, make them put up by his side. So when we get in, our doctor said we dead. He said, we are telling the truth. He said everything was broke up in him. He couldn't live. All his bone between his chest broke up. So he could never make it. We carry get in the ambulance and I gone with them. So when he reached now the doctor, me and my sister start to clean up because he muddy and thing, because they made him push his head down and up, because he tell me...
Down and up in a bucket?
He tell me from the first, he tell me, man, he said, beat we up upstairs All the way forward. They kick up with, they stamp up with. The upstairs, they fully bucket and duck their head in there. Then finally, they bring we down, put it on the septic, and some higher bars from there.
So your brother was able to talk to you, Miss Manuelita, and he identified the men who did this.
He tell me everything before he did. I said, thank God, he may live when I reached there before he did. He tell me everything what happened.
But the BSAC didn't have any authority to conduct such a search for a cell phone. It is out of the scope of their responsibilities.
As it relates to their actions in dealing with the complaint that they were dealing with, I can state categorically that they have no jurisdiction to have dealt with that matter. That is a matter that would have fallen squarely within the scope of Orange Walk police formation. And so the proper thing for them to have done, even if the complaint had gone to them and make the complaint, they could have referred the complainant to the Orange Walk police station, who would have been the proper authority to follow up on that complaint.
It's not clear what the BSAC team was doing in Orange Walk that morning the incident happened. They report directly to the command of the BDF. Not much is known about this Special Forces unit, but what we do know is that it was formed over 10 years ago, and the members respond to incidents such as terror attacks, hostage rescues, and other high-level threats. They do rigorous trainings with the U.S. and Canadian Special Armed Forces as members of the Special Forces unit.
BSAG is our Special Forces unit. This unit was created about 7 years ago, primarily for terrorism training, for any terrorist attack that may come into Belize, or any high-risk or dangerous operations, hostage rescue, search and rescue. These guys are our elite forces. A soldier is trained to kill. These guys in the Special Forces are trained to do it even more efficiently or even better. And this is why this unit was created. And we are enhancing their training ability. They have been trained with the U.S. Special Forces for the past almost 7 years now. Now the U.S. Special Forces and the Canadian Special Forces work closely together.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.